Thank you.
All right, so this is Julie White, and I'm from Mansfield, Pennsylvania, Pro 7 in LifeVantage, and I'm just thrilled to have everyone on here tonight to introduce a special friend to all of you, and his name is Rich Hardesty, and he's amazing. He's a Pro 8, a top leader in LifeVantage. I'm going to give you his bio. As a self-promoter and recording artist, singer, songwriter, touring the world and putting out 15 independent records, he has found that LifeVantage is the best record deal one could ask for. I love that. I get to help others to be the rock star. After a tragedy delivered a blessing when he moved home to help his dad with brain cancer and his mother with MS, and LifeVantage found him. The money is great, but the personal growth from LifeVantage University is more than anyone could ask for. He loves believing in others and mentoring them until they too have 100% belief. So the world is looking for and needs what LifeVantage has to offer, and he has always tried to make the road less traveled, and he loves showing other people how they too can get out of the line of the mentality of the masses and help people in need achieve success. That's a beautiful bio. I love that, Rich. And, you know, it's just an honor and privilege to have you on here tonight. I love your heart to help other people. And I just love how authentic you are. And so we had a great time talking in the Bahamas, and I loved seeing your mother there and how well she's doing. So thanks so much for joining us. And I'm just going to let you take it from here.
I appreciate that, Julie. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you, everybody, for taking time out to get on this training call. Julie really cares about you guys. I wish I had 5 of them. 5 Julie Whites. It's just great that she wants you guys to get some information. It's going to sound maybe to some of you redundant, because I say that some of the same things over. But, you know, Marcel Niederhauser told me that once, and he's still telling me that. He says, Rich, we're saying the same thing. Same thing. There's people that are going to go out and put flyers on cars. There's people that are going to post, you know, peer-reviewed journals on their Facebook pages. There's people that are going to try to reinvent the wheel, and that's okay. I remember when I first started, you know, I thought I had this clever idea. But when I look back at it, there was a couple behaviors that I adopted right out the gate that I've really never let go of, even though there was all the other distractions, flavors of the day, new people coming in, and people even talking from the stage and telling you how they did it when they really didn't do it that way. It's just, you know, the good news is it's a people business. The bad news is it's a people business. But I just want to let you guys know that what I'm going to tell you today is something that I learned from my mentor, Pro 10, Marcel Niederhauser. And there's just 2 or 3 things I want to share with you guys to adopt in your behavior, and you become the accumulation of your consistencies. Okay? That's what I made up. You become the accumulation of your consistencies. So, you know, Julie White comes up to me in the Bahamas and sits down at our table, and we have dinner together on almost the first night. And her husband came and sat next to her also. And next thing you know, we're talking music. Her son is a drummer, right? That's what I thought, right? Make sure I got that right. Yeah, he's a drummer.
Yes.
And he can play that drum. I could tell by the way he spoke that he could play that drum on autopilot without thinking, right? And he could go because he practiced something over and over and over. And I'll bet you I knew what it was. It was probably these rudiments. He probably took his sticks and went, you know, dun 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 dun, and counted down till he was just going. But the point of that is that any of us can go sit down at a drum over time and get that good. But we just have to tell ourselves we're going to do it, and we're going to take the time to practice, because we do the things that we want to do. Whether someone tells us to do it, or it's a boss, or you're trying to win a contest, we end up doing the things that we really want to do. So if you really want to do this, like I know Julie does, because I heard, you know, we were in the Bahamas talking about it, and she asked me a lot of questions, and now here we are. we're on this training call. Thoughts became things. You know, she did something and something happened. We're all here. So if she really wants this and she didn't get to Pro 7, you know, by reinventing the wheel, she followed some behaviors we're going to teach you guys tonight. So if you really, really want this, the question isn't going to be, you'll write it down, but the question is going to be, will you go out and actually do it? That's where it's at. That's a choice for you to actually go out and do this over and over and over. It's going to be bored, but just show that video 1,000 times and teach your new distributors to go show it 1,000 times. We're still doing it. We're still showing the video 1,000 times. Okay. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm going to make a quick greatest hits because I'd rather train than to tell you my story. I want to give you just a little bit of the story is this. I know how you feel. I felt that way. When LifeVantage found me, I was broke. Now, maybe you're not broke, but I had no time. Maybe you don't have any time. I had dream stealers coming from every direction. So I know how you guys feel. I felt that way. And what I found when I joined LifeVantage was that I was going to go through some personal growth. Because it wasn't, you know, it was inevitable. It was inevitable that I would have to go through some growth. So let's have fun while we're going through the growth. Okay. So if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So I actually found a way to have fun while my dad was dying brain cancer. I know that sounds crazy, but I thought of things to say like this. Tragedy delivered a blessing. If I had to move back in California, I wouldn't have my son. And I wouldn't have a big why to do this. I don't know if I would have done this if I didn't have these big reasons. So I found a way to have fun. Dad took one for the team. You know, yeah, I'm losing my dad to brain cancer, but he took one for the team, right? I don't try to control things I can't control. So I look at all the positive things that happened because my dad got brain cancer. LifeVantage came into my life. So that's cool. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Find a way to have fun on this journey every single day. I'll tell you right now, something clicked in my mind earlier. We got 90-degree weather. I picked up my son from school, and we went to the park. We played catch, and now he's sitting in there watching TV with the dogs. But I was like in a really, really bad mood. I almost didn't want to do this call, and it's just because I can't tell you that every single day I'm going to be on my game. I can't. Sometimes I'm just not there. I feel like I'm a little bent. So I didn't even want to get on the call. I knew I would. I don't like faking things though. So I jumped in the shower and I used the True Science shower cleanser, and I got out. I put lotion on my face, slammed a little bit of the Axio, and I threw on my LifeVantage shirt. And I'll tell you right now, I feel great right now, but I didn't a little while ago. So sometimes you gotta nip it in the butt really, really fast. You gotta bounce back really, really fast. So one thing, if you're not in the mood and you want to have fun, like I said, you know, it's not fun. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. Put your headphones on, go for a long, long walk. And then your endorphins will kick in and your dopamine levels will kick in. And you might feel like calling somebody or taking a call. So just so you know, I'm only human. I'm only a human being. I didn't even want to train tonight, but now that I'm on here, I promise you, this is all I'm thinking about. I don't even need a script because I know exactly what to tell you guys. So, you know, Feel Found is something I think you guys should use with new distributors and with your current distributors who are telling you they don't have any time, because people don't have time. They tell us they don't have time and they're not going to sign up, and they tell us they don't have any money, they're not going to sign up, and they tell us that they have dream stealers out there before they signed up and when they dodge us. But once we get distributors in, they say the same thing sometimes. They say, well, I don't have any money to go to the event, or I don't have any time to go to these events in the nooks and the crannies of my life. Or I have a dream stealer who's not letting me go run. I want to run, but I can't because I have a dream stealer that's stopping me from that. So you could say, I know how you feel. I felt that way for almost everything in the business. So practice that till it comes like on autopilot, because I just got a brand new distributor the other day, and we had training yesterday at a coffee shop, and I felt like I gave her an elite academy in 1 hour. She might even be on here right now. But I said that a couple times with her. I just said, I know how you feel. I felt that, babe. But what I found, right? So that's something I think someone taught me right out the gate from the beginning. So have fun. Feel Found. I did take a couple of notes tonight. I don't have a script, of course, but there are a couple of things I really want you to know. So at the end, I'm going to sum it all up and tell you a couple things you just have to do if you want to become an elite distributor. But right now, when we're talking about this invite, we know that you have to expose this to people. If you're brand new, I know how you feel. I felt that way. Nobody wants to pick up the phone. Nobody wants to start talking about on Facebook or whatever. But the bottom line is we have to expose this to people, and we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So we do have, if there's someone in your phone that you don't want to share this with, I heard somebody say once, then take them out of your phone so they're not there, and let's get busy. Let's just go through your phone. There's probably, if you have 50 in your phone or you got 1,000 on your Facebook, but let's start talking to these people. That's what we're supposed to do at first out the gate, is make that list. So that it's an exposure game, and we know that the ratio, if you just keep going through it, that it will work. So I'm going to teach you a couple invites that I learned in the Bahamas when I was invited up to Tyler Daniels and Skip Campbell's room. It was Skip Campbell's room, and I was invited up there one night, and I almost didn't go because I was kind of feeling funky. And my mom and our helper Sergio was in the room, and I go, Mom, I don't even feel like running up there. It's Skip. I heard him over and over, but yeah, he invited me up to the room. I probably ought to get up there, but I lost the text message. I don't even know where it is. I was coming up with all these excuses. And my mom, of all people, she goes, get your butt up there right now, Rich. You run up there now. And I go, I know, you're right. We all laughed. And I ran up there. And now I have some information from that meeting up there to tell you guys. And it came from Tyler Daniels. He said, a great invite is this. If I had something life-changing, would you want to know? If you ask that over and over and over and over again, somebody's going to say, I would want to know. So yeah, we have brain dead people. We have people that are complacent and people who don't want to know. I get it. I'm still getting those people. But I asked that question since I've been back from the trip, and people want to know. I love that one. Hey, if I had some life-changing information, would you want to know? If that's the only thing you said, and you said that over and over and over and over and over, like Julie's son did when he learned to play the drums, you're going to get people that see this like you did. It's just inevitable. Someone's going to see the bottom of an S curve. Someone's going to see peer-reviewed journals. Someone's going to have MS like my mom. Here's the trick. Don't go off and tell them the whole story after that. Say, I want you to see this the way I did. And that's when you set up the call with your upline. That's when you show them a YouTube video. There's plenty of them. Almost all of our Pro 10s and mentors have a YouTube video telling the story. A Sherry Hollenbeck opportunity video is amazing, but there's a bunch of them. A Carrie Dickey one, there's a Skip Campbell one. So after they want to, well, yeah, I want to know the life-changing information. You got that. You got Zoom calls, but you have events. There's the big blue calendar. I'll leave it to your upline to tell you the new app. Okay, I've downloaded the new app. I can't tell you if it works yet, but I've invited on it. It's a brilliant way to invite. If you ask the question that I just told you, if I had something life-changing, would you want to know? And you could sit there immediately with that app and say, give me your phone number. We got this new app. I'm so excited about it. Duplication just started immediately. And that's pretty cool right there. Because people want simple, they want easy, and they want fun. And it's fun. So even if you're on the phone, you can say, hey, I got this new app. I'm going to put your phone number in. I just did it with the FedEx lady. And I did a meeting with her, like the next day, actually, at a pita pit. And I asked her that question. If I had something life-changing, would you want to know? She said, yes. I said, okay, let's meet. I want you to hear it the way I did. We actually sat down at a pita pit a couple days ago, and I got out my phone. I said, hey, look, we got this new app. Do you mind if I practice on you? And then, of course, I drew the plan on a napkin because I did with Marcel. Marcel taught me in the beginning to draw this thing, right? So I drew it on a napkin. I said, I'm going to give you the greatest hits. But I also allowed that app to be the message. So I said, I've been sending her all these other videos. I said, hey, you might like the skin line. Check out that video. Hey, you might like this video. Oh, dog lovers. She was a dog lover. So I said, make sure you check out the pet tandem video. So that's one thing I got out of that meeting up there with about 15 people in the Bahamas from Tyler Daniels. He said, hey, if you just say that over and over and over and over. And then he said, go show the video 1,000 times and teach other people to do the same thing. See, we're really actually if everybody did what I just said, it's as simple as that, we would already be $1 billion company. But the problem is not everybody does that. Everybody, does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. But if it was that simple to show somebody that it's that easy to do, the problem is it's people business. Okay, the good news is it's people business. The problem is it's a people business. People quit because someone told them no. They don't stay in the game. They get poo-pooed on, and their feelings are hurt, and they're offended, and then they take a break for a week. Now, that's okay. I've had that happen to me. But I had an interesting conversation recently with one of my really dear friends in this business. His name is Brian Lipscomb, and he said something yesterday that just floored me. He ignored us, by the way, for, I don't know, maybe I didn't invite him the right way, but the bottom line is he didn't sign up for 5 years. Went off and played for the Pittsburgh Pirates when we were out of high school, blah, blah, blah. He's in our business now, and he's an amazing leader. But here's what he told me. He goes, Rich, I went and talked to the family again, and they said, now, Brian, I hope Brian's not mad at me for sharing this. I hope there's no family members on here. But he said, we've known people to do those kind of things, and it didn't work for them. Just so, Brian, we know people like that and tried this. And then I didn't let Chico finish telling me the story, and I went, oh, yeah, somebody's grandma or somebody's aunt did Tupperware, right? And they failed. So I guess we can't do this. I guess I got to look at my son in the eye and go, Max, somebody failed in Tupperware. We can't do this. How does that sound? That sounds pretty silly, right? That means if you had a bad date, you're never going to date again. That means if you had a bad dog, you're never going to have a dog again. I mean, it means if you had a bad bank, you're never going to go to the bank again. You had a bad mortgage, whatever. If your Cubs team loses, that means you can't be a diehard Cub fan. But you never quit. You never quit. You never quit. You never quit. And look, the Cubs won the World Series 2 years ago. They never quit. But what I'm saying is, I'll finish Chico's story now. Brian, I call him Chico. But he said, yeah. He goes, they told me. Now, Brian, that we've had a lot of people we've met who've done those things, and it didn't work for them. And Brian said this. He goes, why did they quit? He said there was silence. In other words, why did they quit? That's the reason why it didn't work, because they quit. So my best advice to you is don't take advice from people more screwed up than you. And the truth is 98% of them are more screwed up than you, because you're sitting on the forefront of nutrigenomics. It's going to be $1 trillion industry soon. And you have what you have, and you don't even have to be the message. You get to share information. You get to share a video. You get to ask somebody, if I had something that was life-changing, would you want to know? So if people don't want to know, then that proves my point. Don't take advice from people more screwed up than you, and never quit. Because, Harvey Connor, geez, I think he's a pro 8 or a pro 9 from Vancouver. But he told me, he's like, I've owned these things, and I've done more of these than you'd ever know. And he goes, I landed on Life Vantage. He goes, there's no reason to ever do another one again. He goes, just don't quit. He goes, and if you're from another company and you're saying those things don't work, ask yourself, why'd you quit? Unless you joined at the top of an S-curve, okay? Unless you joined today, Visalis or Herbalife or MonaV or Amway. Now, if you join at the top of an S-curve, you can't, I wouldn't tell you to never quit. I'd say, ooh, have a good time trying to be a salesman. But I'm saying when you're lucky enough to be ground level with a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ, and you could share information and look for like-minded people, my best advice is you never quit. I've had people in my organization get to Pro 6 and quit. And it's probably not who you're thinking. The people that are on here, it's not who you're thinking. You don't even know who they are. It was so early in the game. But I had people get into that kind of money and quit. And that is beyond me. I know they regretted it. I know for a fact that they regret that decision for quitting. But Pro 6 is amazing. You'd have to have you'd have to have $1.5 million in the bank. No, you'd have to have, $1.5 million in the bank to make the interest to make a Pro 6 check every month. Think about that. Why would you quit? If you're a Pro 5, you'd have to have $600,000 in the bank. Okay, so it's hard. You want to quit, but you never quit. Wake up every day, and as some people say, put your big girl panties on or something, right? I heard somebody from the States say that. I think Amber Swanson said that or something. But just bite the bullet, man. When you're not feeling like it, that's when you actually probably should do it. On the days that you don't feel like it. And that's where the people that separate themselves, professional network marketers separate themselves from the amateurs, man. on the days that we don't feel like doing it, we make ourselves do it. We go for that walk. We watch a positive video. Watch a Tony Robbins video, for crying out loud. Just go on YouTube and type in positivity and watch any of those videos. So I like this one too. You can ask your friends this. Are you gonna, hey, Michael Smith, man, I haven't talked to you for a while, but I saw your post on Facebook. That was pretty cool, man. You know, just strike up that conversation and then go, hey, are you planning on doing that forever? Doing what forever? What you're doing? Like, are you planning on doing that forever? And finally, it's reality. We're going to talk about what nobody really, oh, I never really thought about that. Or heck, no, I don't want to do this forever, right? But if you ask people, are you willing to do that forever? And then ask your distributors who are kind of sitting on this right now, not doing much, ask them that. Are you willing to do this forever? Do what forever? Well, the slow invite. Like, are you willing to wait for the next meeting? Are you willing to wait for one meeting a week, like one Zoom call a week forever? I mean, or are you going to go show this every single day? Because we know it's a numbers game. We know it's a exposure rate. It's the exposure rate. So if you just wait to do this once a week, then there's somebody out there praying for this, and they're waiting to get the call. But because you're going to take your time and just do this once a week, they're not even going to get the message for a year from now. Like, by the time you get to that 30th person on your chicken list, that's a year from now. So I say go through it as fast as you can, like Marcel Niederhauser did in the beginning. Nobody wants to sponsor. I'm sponsoring again right now. I'm actually having fun. So I can't say nobody wants to sponsor. I'm actually having a blast sponsoring right now, because I remember what it was like in the beginning when I sponsored 15 as fast as I could. I remember there was 3 or 4 that actually did it at a very fast pace. So I know if I put 15 people in as fast as I can, that there's going to be 3 or 4 that are going to basically do it at a really fast pace. They're going to show up at all the events. They're going to do the Zoom calls. They're going to take the app, and they're going to figure out how to use the app. And to me, that's fun. To me, I see a bright future in LifeVantage. Like, the reason I'm on this call right now, when Julie asked me to do it, is because I'd love to be a part of helping spread a consistent message in LifeVantage. So this goes quicker. And that's good for some people, and it's bad for others, because it's going to go quicker. And there is the problem. Timing waits for nobody. The timing opportunity is closing really, really fast. Okay. As the app comes out and the country's open, and you see Pro 7s like Julie show up at the Bahamas. Like, I didn't even know she was a Pro 7. I was like, woo, wow, where'd that come from? And, recently here in Indiana, there's a Pro 7, James Hayden. I drive through his town for the last 7 years doing meetings. I go right through North Manchester to Warsaw, to South Bend. I didn't even know there was a guy doing the business, and he comes from nowhere, and he's a Pro 7. That blows my mind. They warned us about that a long time ago. They said they're coming. And so we had a police officer from that area. All of a sudden now is growing really, really fast. And I was just driving through that town, doing meetings here and there, but I'm just letting you guys know there's no time. You don't have time. Time waits for nobody. And the problem is we think we have the time. I think Rumi, R-U-M-I, you could Google that one, but I think he's known for, the problem is we think we have the time. And I'm all about the present moment, okay? So I'm all about living it up, going to the fair and going to concerts and living in the moment, but dig the well before it's dry and still have fun, go to the concerts, but there is not enough time. You don't have time. People are joining the company now and flying past the ranks because they understand urgency, they understand timing, they know, if you sign up somebody, and here's the thing, don't you want to have the excitement of telling we're at the bottom of the S-curve and we're just now hitting momentum? Don't you love the fact you're able to do that on a napkin, and you're able to honestly tell them we only have 80,000 people around the world and 40,000 are in America, and I can tell you that with a straight face and say, yes, it's not too late. You can do this. But what about a year from now? What if we are at 400 million? It's a harder conversation. It's a lot easier now when you tell somebody in Indianapolis, hey man, there's a Pro 8, there's a Pro 9, and if you look at the volume, it doesn't even come from Indianapolis hardly. There's some, but it's fun to tell someone in their own city that they're first. But it was an eye-opener for me to watch a Pro 7 in Indiana come from nowhere. And when I know we got people that are as good as that, we're just as good as that new Pro 7. In other words, we're all just as good. Everybody can go speed enrolling by just showing this and asking that simple question. If I had life-changing information, what do you want to know? Everybody can do it. We just got to make ourselves do it, and you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And here's what's going to make you do it. Your why. See, now I sound like a broken record. Tell me something I don't know, Rich. Tell me the secret. That is the secret. When you make a commitment and you sign the dotted line and you said, I'm going to do this, don't you ever stop thinking about the things you said and how you felt when you signed that dotted line and said you're going to grow LifeVantage. Because you might look silly. Because I had people sign, they're not on this call. They're not on here. None of them here. In the early days, who cried and who said they were going to do it because of this, this, and this. And then they never did it. They never even opened the box sometimes. And sometimes they never did a third-party phone call with me. So I had to ask myself, I don't understand. You said that was so important. You know, the braces for the kids, getting my husband or my wife off the hamster wheel, or all those big, huge things we say when we join slowly are not important anymore. And that's because we go back to the comfort zone and we get comfortable with life. And we're going to go watch the game, or we're going to go watch the movie, or we're going to go do these other things that, let me tell you what that is. Short-term imbalance is going to create long-term imbalance. So if you have to take off in a car, I do it all the time. So I'm not just telling you this. I do it all the time. Yesterday morning, I got in the car at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I drove all the way to LaPorte, Indiana, with my dogs in the back seat. Hair was flying everywhere. And I turned around and came all the way back to my house, or back to Indianapolis. I was here by 3 o'clock. But I go to Michigan, I'll do this. All I'm saying is that on that time you think, well, I can't leave. I can't do that. That's going to give you the prize. If you're willing to do something, give up something. You got to give up something. It might be the road trip I just mentioned. And if you don't want to get in the car and disappear for 12 hours and do a turnaround like that for $40 of gas, then stand in this kitchen with your phone and your boxers on, barefoot, and pace the floor and walk around the block or the yard, exposing this, showing this, making the calls to someone that you're actually afraid to call. So if you don't want to do what I did, then go find some other people that want to do what I did. Marcel's good at that. He said, I found people that were better than me. If you find someone that wants to use our brand new app and can use it faster than you, then you don't have to do it. If you can find someone who's willing to hop in a car and drive a 12-hour turnaround for one meeting when two people are sitting on the couch, I do that all the time. Then go find someone else who's going to do it. You know how you find them? You go through the numbers and you ask them that question. If I had life-changing information, would you want to know? And then when the smorgasbord's pulled out, when they see what we have, when they see these videos, when they hear the greatest hits on a Zoom call or a third-party phone call, then they get to decide, well, I'm doing this for my dog. My dog needs pet tandem. I'm doing this for nerve 2 activation. How dare I not spend the rest of my life sharing this message? Like, I know people that actually are doing it to kick conventional, traditional wisdom on its butt. People are doing this because they're fed up and they're tired of the Band-Aid approach. And they're sick and tired of the healthcare and all that other stuff. They're not even doing it for the money. I really believe when I've met the people, the way they explain it, that they're not even doing it for the money. So if you just show this thing, you'll find that person that's going to go out and do it for those reasons. You're going to find the person who's going to do it because they're at the bottom of an S-curve. You're going to find it for the entrepreneur who wants to go off and make $100 grand a month and not feel guilty about it because they're going to go help the world. You're going to find someone who wants to just get to Pro 5. Here, the thing is that everybody is welcome in LifeVantage. And if you have people doing it for all the reasons I mentioned and many, many more, I have to put braces on my kid. I have to pay cash for their college. Whatever these reasons are, all those reasons together, bundled together, is what LifeVantage stands for. And then the runners that you get are going to be the ones that are going to get a Jeep. They're going to be the ones that want that free vacation every year. And frankly, the company asked you to go out on the road and teach. I just went to Hawaii. It was a 4-hour training. But I was there for 4 days walking around Waikiki Beach barefoot. So I do this for all kinds of reasons. I'm not just doing it because my son, my mom, my why. I'm a humanitarian. You know, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but I love the fact that you can go teach other people how to do this and walk around Hawaii barefoot. And Puerto Rico, I did it in Puerto Rico. I take advantage of that, man. I mean, to me, that's amazing. What a blessing. So, let's see, positive vibes, positive people, positive vibes. Okay. Who are you hanging out with? Because I said you're gonna have to give up something to have this. Okay. And I don't know what you gave up, but I gave up caring what other people thought. I gave up a 15-year at the time Jägermeister sponsorship that was paying me every year, and I gave up dating. Now people laugh when I say that, but I was dating. I was a single guy. I couldn't find time to date. I was trying to date. I could, you know, I might make people feel uncomfortable, but I was changing my dad's diapers, my son's diapers. He's probably in the other room laughing right now. And I was helping my mom get up and down off the couch. And I was so depressed that I felt like some of the things Aubrey Huff said in his video. That's where I was. I was numb. So I didn't have time to do anything, but I gave up 3 things that I remember that helped me get to Pro 8. So you have to give something up, you guys. That's probably the biggest. I think it's underrated. I don't think we talk about it enough, because if you look in the mirror and you look where your rank is and you say, I'm not happy, it's not good enough, I've been a Pro 2 for too long, I've been a Pro 6 for too long, then there's something you have to give up, because the definition of insanity is expecting things to change, but you didn't give something up, or you didn't change. So you know what Marcel's going to tell you? He's going to say, well, go get 5 more people. And then that sounds funny too, because you're going to say, well, I can't sign up a person. No one signs up. Well, then you better change something. You change your invite. What have you been telling these people? Why aren't they signing up? Have you been saying too much? Have you mastered that simple invite and said that as many times to more people? Have you said less to more people? Or have you said a whole bunch of stuff to 5 or 6 people, and then they ignored you, and then you said this thing doesn't work? So what are you willing to give up to have this? And that is really, really, I'm telling you right now, I still know what I need to give up. There's a couple more things I need to give up to skate and slide fast into Pro 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. I know I won't get it. I know people will pass me and beat me to the ranks if I don't give up some stuff. And so what I did is I went back to when I joined LifeVantage, and I started doing the things that I did that got me to Pro 8 in 2 years. And when I say that, we got to Pro 8. Okay, there was leadership built, and there was duplication built. I duplicated a system that Marcel taught me, and I did it to Pro 8. And then I showed up at the events. My check always came in, but I got a little complacent with my check, and I actually stopped doing the behaviors that I did to get to where I got. So there was other people that were out sponsoring me, and so I watched myself get passed up, and that's perfectly okay, except it's not. Like, I don't like that. I don't like getting passed up. I'm sick and tired of being where I'm at. So what I did is I adopted the behaviors that I did in the beginning, and what it was is urgency. I'm going to show this thing to as many people as I can, like there's no tomorrow. Urgency. And when I sign them up, I'm going to tell them, you don't have to memorize all the science. You don't have to memorize the comp plan. Now, over time, I hope you do for your mindset. But, you know, the person that wins is the person that can ask something simple, show a video, show the comp plan. By default, they're going to find out what biohacking is. You're going to let them know about that, okay? They're going to find out. By default, they're going to find out what peer-reviewed journals are. But, you know, the speed, I remember Carrie Dickey said once, when I met her, I walked up to her at an event, and I said, hey, Carrie, can I have your business card? I said, I know you came from Mona V. I go, I actually showed you the ABC Primetime video on Facebook, but you must not have read it. And she goes, no, I don't even look at that, Rich. I go, well, I did show it to you first. I wanted to let her know that I showed it to her first because I knew she was from Mona V. Stu Brody got her in. Maybe he showed it to her first, but I joke about that. But I wanted to meet her because I wanted to meet somebody from the industry like her who was skating up to the top rank. So she did a meeting for me. And now this is Carrie Dickey right now, one of the top earners. I think she's a Pro 11. But she said, Rich, I'm going to the Pro 10 without even understanding the comp plan. Now, listen to what I said. I'm not telling you not to study and master the comp plan. I think you should. I'm not telling you to not understand peer-reviewed journals. But what I'm saying is that there's people you're going to sign up who are going to do this as fast as possible, talking to more people and saying less. There's people like me. When I joined who just showed it like wildfire as fast as I could to find the runners, because we're at the bottom of an S curve. And it was a publicly traded company. And I thought that I could retire off this thing and leave a legacy. And it's not, I'm still living in the same house. I'm not after money. I made a lot of money in the music business. And I love money and I want to make a bunch of money, but I love what it does for me when it gives me freedom and time and choices. And at the Atlantis where we were just at, if it wasn't for LifeVantage, I couldn't even stay there, because you guys, it's $100 for lunch at the Atlantis. Bottles of water are $8. And I was talking to Harvey Connor from Vancouver, and he said, Rich, he says, I couldn't stay here if it wasn't for LifeVantage. It's one of the most expensive resorts in the world to stay at. He goes, so let's just go out and make more money. Okay, so whatever you got, your dreams and your passion and your love, is just, let's just go out and make some more money. And how do we do that? We're just helping other people. And we're just showing people a simple, duplicated way to share information and rank advance. Because every event we have is a report card. We want to see people we signed up rank advance, because that's the report card. So I'm frustrated because the events go by, and I used to stand at the stage and take pictures of people as they were rank advancing, and that hasn't been happening as much. I remember when it was happening so much that there was 100 people at the end of the stage, and now I want to see that again. I want to see our people rank advance. So I'm going back to the basics, back to the beginning, which is adopting the behaviors that it's going to take for you to be successful in LifeVantage. And the invite is one of them. We spent a lot of time on that. Let me teach you another one real quick in a nutshell. I'm going to see if I can give you the greatest hits of what building depth means. Okay, building depth means this. When you sign up a distributor, you help them find other people. You help them get help them turn 3 people into Pro 3s. If you go out and sign up 3 people and help them get to Pro 3, you're on your way to Mexico in 3 months. Now, if you want to be in Mexico in 3 months on the incentive trip, sitting under a palm tree, like Julie and I did with her husband, just sitting there with my mom under a palm tree, then go to get 3 people, go as fast as you can, go through the numbers, find the people that want to do this, and then teach them to help to get them to Pro 3. And you pretty much are going to be going to Mexico. And by the way, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. I like incentive trips, but the truth is that's what you're supposed to do anyway. I didn't even know when I joined there was an incentive trip, and I got a phone call and they said, hey, Rich, we want to send you to Paradise Island and meet David Brown, the CEO. I said, what? Yeah, you just wanted the first incentive trip in the history of LifeVantage. We're going to pack your bags. I was like, I didn't have any clue that I won that, and I didn't really know there was an incentive trip, but I knew what I was told by Skip Campbell when he came into my living room. He said, hey, if you want what I have, do what I do. And I just went out and did it. Now, I met a girl in the Bahamas that was standing in line. By the way, there were 700 people on that island. And that bothered me because there were 700 people on that island, and I didn't have anybody who won the incentive trip. I was sitting there without anyone. That bothered me. But there's a woman right there who said, Rich, hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, Jess. I think her name was Jess. She goes, I don't even know anyone. I don't even know anything. I don't even who you, because I started talking about people. I go, nice to meet you. Rich Hardesty, Pro 8. She's like, I don't even know anyone. She goes, I just hit Pro 6 or something, and I did it as fast as I could because I'm so excited about this amazing opportunity. And so I was thinking, somebody that doesn't even know anybody, just joined the company, won the incentive trip, is at the Bahamas standing there all goo-goo and excited because she'll probably keep doing that. I hope she keeps doing that. But you just got to find a reason to get excited. If it's not Mexico, just do it. Forget about Mexico. Forget about the Jeep. Forget about the money. Forget about Pro 87654, whatever. Forget about the money. Here's something I learned from Sherry Hollenbeck. And it's not just someone talking. She walks the talk. She did this. She said, if you'll be willing to adopt the behaviors that it's going to take to be successful, all that other stuff is just going to happen. You're going to rank advance. You're going to teach other people to rank advance. You're going to teach everybody a proven system. And everybody wins, and there's a consistent message that's going on. So I would just highly recommend that you guys just forget about the past. The past is gone. The future never comes. Start right now and adopt some behaviors that it's going to take to become elite distributors. And another one of those is you never miss an event. So in 2 weeks, we have our LifeVantage Academy. I bought my ticket. I'll be in Indianapolis for Sonny Belanger, who's flying in. Usually they send me somewhere, so it's nice to be in town, to be with my new people, because I got brand new distributors, so I'm going to bring them there. I'm going to teach them to put butts in seats. So, and always do what you said you're going to do, okay? And that means that if you said you're building a life managed legacy for your children or your husband or your shiny car or your expensive lifestyle, whatever that reason was, always do what you said you're going to do. Don't say, well, those things don't work. I quit. Somebody told me no. What are you going to give up? Are you going to give up caring what other people think? Or are you going to be, just another person running around conforming? And what, are you going to give up the news? Are you going to give up your favorite news station when they wake up and feed you the blues? Because if somebody feeds you the blues like the news, your subconscious doesn't take a joke. And you might just get a speeding ticket later on in the day. You might just stub your toe. The law of attraction is real, man. The law of attraction is just as real as the law of gravity and the law of lift and the law of frequencies and energy. All that stuff is real. So just take a break from the news. If you want to know if it's going to rain or not, who cares? If it rains, it rains. If the sun's going to shine, it's going to shine. But are you watching too much Netflix? Are you watching too much baseball and football? Bowling night? What are you doing that you can change? The latte factor? Rich, I don't have enough money to go to Anaheim. I would never want to peek in anyone's checkbook, but I bet you I can find things you're buying in a month that are going nowhere. You're spending money on a bunch of things. They call it the latte factor, Latte, latte factor. I used to be responsible for donating my money and my tip to Starbucks. I would buy a $5 coffee, tip $1 at the window, and I did that for 3 or 4 years. Can you imagine how much money I blew away? That was before LifeVantage. But when someone says, I don't have enough money to go to the event, you got to ask them, well, do you really? Or is there something else you're spending your money on? Because excuses are reasons. All the time, any excuse we ever have, if you really think about it, it's a reason to do it. So I think we've gone for a while now. We've gone for 43 minutes. I hope this call, I hope it helped you guys. There's a whole bunch of other things we could have talked about. I hope I'm setting you on the right track and on the right path, but I know that you are the one that gets to decide if you have this. We've heard it all, sideline, downline, upline. Well, I don't have anybody doing this and that. The truth is, you have positivity, you have thoughts, you have choices, and you have an ABC primetime video investigative report that's never been done before with a CEO sitting on the board of directors named Darren Jensen, who's at the ship, steering the ship. And you have your own time and you have your own reasons and your own why. And I believe that anyone on this call, because I've already seen people get to the elite ranks from all different walks of life, firemen, doctors, sports people, and the funny thing is most of us have never, ever done this before. Most of us have never done multi-level marketing before, but we had a reason and we didn't allow anyone else to take it from us or decide whether or not we could have it. And so the wave is happening. It's time. Marcel says it a lot. It's time. Hindsight's 2020. You're always going to remember Rich on this training call. The question is, what will you do with your time every single day to make your life better? When you look in the mirror every morning, you're going to get up earlier. You're going to make more calls. But if you want something bad enough, you'll get it because we've already done that in our lives. We've worked harder for stupid things. We've made too many people rich by doing things and working hard. So I already know we can do it. We've already proven we can do it. It just so happens now that we have this amazing thing that we're doing right now. This is life-changing. This has never been done before. This is something that who knows, they say, who knows where this is going. I'm going to close with this. I stood in line with some people from Thailand and in the Bahamas, and it was making me nervous because I don't like to stand by people and not talk. So I turned around and I said, speak English? And they go, we speak English, little. And I said, awesome. And I said, how did you get on the trip? And they're like, incentive. And they all tried to talk of this, they were so excited. They were smiling ear to ear. But these people are from Thailand, okay? And they made it to the Bahamas. And they could barely speak English, but they figured out the comp plan. They figured out our comp plan that we made. It started here. So, do you want to see people from Thailand? Yes, we do. We want to see them. We want to have dinner with them. We want to rank advance from them. We want to make money out of that global pie that they work really, really hard to make bigger. But do you really want to see groups of people in other countries flying into our incentive trips without you? And so I hope there's someone on the call, or I hope you guys don't think that I'm all about incentive trips and making all kinds of money. I don't know who I'm speaking to now. Sometimes there's only one person that's really taking it in, and sometimes it's everybody at one time. But I really hope that I'm resonating and speaking to you guys, and I'm grateful and humbled that Julie thought enough of me to talk to you guys. So that's why I took a shower before I came in here and put True Science on and put on my Life Vantage jersey, because I wanted to make sure that I give you guys the information that's believable and that you feel like you can do it too, because we all get to do this. We all can do this. So I'm going to finish with that. And Julie, thank you so much for having me on your team call tonight. It really means the world to me. It was really great getting to know you and your husband in the Bahamas.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Rick. Rich, that was really fantastic. And I just appreciate all the practical information and also just the inspiration and the motivation that you provided us with. And you shared some about the building depth. And I don't think a lot of people on my team are familiar with building depth, but I also got to talk to Marcel Niederhauser in the Bahamas. You encouraged me to do that, if you remember. And so he told me about the Facebook page. So anyone that's interested in finding out more about building depth that Marcel Niederhauser is heading up, you can look for the Facebook group called Building Depth, and they have files on there. They have a PowerPoint. He uses a tear-off sheet. And it's basically the same as the blueprint, but they've kind of simplified it a little bit, I feel, and narrowed it down. And so it's very duplicatable, and a lot of people are having success with it. So do you have time for, if anybody has a quick question, Rich, or do you need to get going?
I do have time, but to follow up with what you just said, the tear-off sheet meeting is golden. Do you mind if I mention the Sherry Hollenbeck video?
Oh, please.
So here's what it is, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Sherry Hollenbeck tear-off sheet, watch it, and then watch it again. Watch it 5 times. You know what you're going to find? You can do exactly what she's doing with the tear-off sheet. And there's a way to get those too. You can talk to Julie about that. But to me, I've already had some of my team members, my buddy Carlos tonight called me on the phone. He goes, Rich, man, thank you for sharing the tear-off sheet idea. He goes, it's simple. He goes, I'm going to make my own video. He goes, you just hold the tear-off sheet. So it's hard for me to sit here and explain it, but go watch her video, and you'll see why I'm talking and why I'm so excited about it. If everyone in the company was using a tear-off sheet, I think we would have missed it. I think we'd already be $1 billion company.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Does anyone have a quick question? I know it's getting a little late, so, but if anybody has a question, go ahead and either type it in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, well, I think you were very thorough and you covered a lot of information, and I know I took a lot of notes, and I really, really appreciate it. I love so many things that you said, and so thank you so much, Rich. It's been great connecting with you again tonight, and I'd be glad to return the favor. You mentioned that with your team, so let me know if I can help you out as well. So,
I look forward to that. Thank you very much, Julie.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone, for being on.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Rich. Great job. Appreciated it very much.
Thank you very much, Kurt. I appreciate you too. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good
Good night,
night.
man. Night, Julie.
Good night.